Hey guys, welcome back to Real Talk with Carissa and Jason. Before you listen to this episode, go over to Instagram and please follow us at Carissa and Jason, and then hop straight over to YouTube and subscribe to us at Real Talk with Carissa and Jason. We appreciate your support and we hope you enjoy this episode. Yeah.
Fine.
Okay. Welcome back.
We live?
We are live, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, baby.
Welcome. Let me try to get myself here. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Carissa and Jason.
Yeah.
It's been 25 years since we've been here. But that's okay, because that happens sometimes.
Well, like we said, it's not on our time.
Yeah.
We're not on our time.
It's on God's time.
It's all on God's time.
What do we matter in this equation?
Not at all, actually.
No, it's Real Talk with Carissa and Jason.
Yeah.
Nothing about us matters here.
We just provide the physicality part of it. That's it.
Move the mic a bit closer to you. And just up a little bit.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
Getting used to this again.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Anyway, so how you been?
Good. I've been good. I've been busy. It's been really busy.
Good.
Yeah.
Busy is good.
Yeah. It's weird because it was quiet, so it was just, just kind of chilling, but not chilling. And then it just like a tornado. As soon as I made some decisions that I wanted to do, and asked God to help me get there, kind of just brought me in a different direction and just made me busy in a totally different way, which I thank him for.
We love it.
Yeah. I've just finished saying, it's not on our time.
Nope. Nothing is.
No, that's my whole thing this year. My whole thing this year is it's not on our time and expect the unexpected. That's what this whole year is about.
That's good and scary stuff at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
Expect the unexpected.
You have to.
Yeah, it's true.
Anything that you think is going to be,
throw that out the window.
Out like Gonzo. Because it's going to be totally different than what you think it's going to be.
Yeah, it's true.
Not to say that you won't get what you want to get done, but it might be in a very U-turny, left turn, right turn kind of way, and you just got to be ready for it. And the quicker it is for you to accept that will be the quicker. Why can't I put the sentence together?
We're rough.
Yeah. Yeah. The faster it takes for you to accept that is the quicker you'll be able to get done what needs to get done.
Okay. I don't know why that was so hard.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know.
God help us through this episode.
Maybe because I'm seeing another human being other than my wife for the last little while.
I've been in my house for literally 2 months.
Yeah.
I haven't seen really anyone, and I'm just happy to be out.
Yeah, happy to be seen.
Literally, I'm alive. Yeah. No, TK had such a good point he brought up to me. There are so many people that I haven't seen since March of 2020 or before, right? Mm-hmm. And it's if you think about it, people change within 2 or 3 months of you not seeing them. And now it's been a whole year, probably 2 years since you've seen certain people. It's you're literally going to meet a different person. It's not the same friend or family member that you had. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I've actually seen the transition.
Yeah.
In friends. I haven't seen them, but I've communicated with them and already noticed a big change in some people.
Crazy.
Not sure I like the change, but that's not my place to judge it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary, man. What's going on?
Yeah, it is. But whatever, man.
Yeah.
You control what you can control. You do what you can do. Hopefully you are in a position where you understand the importance of your relationship with God, and hopefully you're listening to what he's trying to tell you. And if you do those things, your life will be great.
Boom.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How you been?
I've been good. I've had a lot on my mind, so I'm ready to talk. Yeah. I'm ready to babble.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm scared right now.
No, so me and Jason were just talking before this podcast, and I was wait, pause. Let's talk about this during the podcast. This is a good topic. It's a very controversial topic, and what I like about it is that it starts a conversation because everybody has an opinion about it. You can't tell me you don't have an opinion about this. You're lying to me. And it's about giving to homeless people specifically. And we've done... Oh my God, my mom is calling me to tell me about vaccines. Let me tell this lady I'm recording a podcast before she freaks out.
Let's hear Mom. Put her on speaker.
You want me to put her on speaker?
Put her on speaker.
Okay, let's do it. Let me do it.
Tell her she's live on Real Talk with Carissa and Jason.
Okay. Let me actually call her.
This is going to be interesting.
Hello.
Hey.
You're live on Real Talk with Carissa and Jason.
Welcome to the show, Mom.
Oh, Jason's visiting you?
No, I'm at Jason's house.
Oh, okay. Hi, Jason.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I just wanted to video chat with Carissa just to give her the good news that her dad got the vaccine.
Okay, I saw the text message though. So
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay.
He's in the car. He's right here.
Okay, so we'll talk later then. Okay. All right.
So this is like a miracle just to get him to do it. All right.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
Okay, bye. You thought she was just gonna say, "Oh, hey." Like,
I wasn't sure what to expect. Yeah, no clue. That was.
I thought she was gonna be like, "Oh, I'm sorry to bother you." She's like, "No, let me
She's like,
tell
no,
you."
yeah, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Put me on video. Let's go.
Anyways,
That's cool. That was cool.
Okay, well, why? Okay, the topic is we're really rough today.
It's all right. Let's roll.
Giving to homeless people. So we've had, I feel like, a couple episodes specifically about giving, right? But let's talk today specifically about giving to homeless people, like giving to beggars on the street, because me and you were just kind of discussing upstairs and we already kind of have like some differentiating opinions. So
I thought you wanted to fight me, actually.
I'm ready to fight.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's cool. I'll definitely, in physical fight, I'll definitely lose. But no, this topic to me is just really interesting because there's so many, because like I said, everybody has an opinion. So I'm curious to hear yours, or do you want me to start?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I come from the perspective of I'm kind of like that overly nice person, maybe. Like, even if I see the same person over and over again, like, I'll still give them money, even if I know they're scamming, even if I know what they're going to use it for.
If you know they're scamming, you're still giving it to them.
Well, I can't say I know 100% for sure, but I know.
If you feel that they are.
Yeah, I know this person's been on the same corner for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll still be generous, right?
Okay.
And even if, like, maybe they're rude to me or whatever, I'll still be generous, right? Or even if, like, I've had that experience where people have been rude to me, or I know exactly what they're going to go ahead and use it for, I'll still be generous, right?
Interesting. Okay.
So that's what I come from. And you come from kind of a different perspective.
The exact opposite.
Yeah.
To be very clear.
Yeah.
If I know you're first of all, if I know you're scamming, not only am I not giving you anything, but I'm gonna let you know. Like, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
You know, I struggle with this topic just in general because, and we're talking specifically about giving to homeless people. That's what we're talking about here, right? Or appear to be homeless, because at the end of the day, we don't know if they're homeless or not.
Yeah, like giving to people on the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I used to do it years and years ago. I used to do it just because I thought it was the right thing to do. That was really my only reason why I did it. And then I came to see that that there was a lot of scams out there. There was a lot of people out there that probably should not be doing that.
Yeah.
Taking the easy road out. You know, really willing and able to work if they're not working already.
Yeah.
So when I start to get woke to that, I stopped.
Yeah.
I had enough, and it bothered me that I stopped because I knew that there were others out there that were really could use it and should be for them, but because of the bad ones out there, the good ones lost out. From me anyway. So when I saw that you know, it broke my heart to stop, but I did. I stopped. And it's not until more recent that I've been more open to doing that. Yeah, that's kind of the short version of how I feel about it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people hold the same opinion as you. And I found especially a lot of men too. Not to say that that's a thing. It's just, I just talk to a lot of people about this, and it's just a lot of men in particular I know. I don't know what that means, but.
Well, I think it's if that's the case,
Yeah.
because I don't know if it is, but if that is the case, it makes sense to me, because men seem to think more with their head pun and no pun in that, both ways. Women seem to think more with their heart and their emotions.
Yeah.
If that's sexist, then sue me. But
yeah,
I think it's a reality.
Yeah, I think so too.
So that to me makes more sense.
Yeah.
You know, you Exhibit A, you just finished saying that.
I'm literally female stereotypical A here.
Yeah.
You are male typical B.
Yeah. And you just said that you give regardless, even if you know that is a scam, even if you know that
they're not changing.
And even if you know that they're going to go buy drugs with it or alcohol with it, you're still giving it to them.
Yeah.
That's pure heart. I'm not wronging anybody for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I kind of wish that I had a little bit of that in me. I don't. I think with my brain on this particular subject.
Yeah.
And because of that, I miss out on doing God's work. I know that already. But that's something that I will take responsibility and accountability on.
Wow. I didn't expect you were going to say that.
Oh, why?
I don't know. That was just a curveball.
Oh.
Yeah. That's good though. Because the reason why I have this opinion, I think, is just because of certain experiences I've had. And I guess it's kind of opposite. I mean, the same for you, because you have that opinion because of certain experiences you've had, right? Yeah. Where people like prove you right, basically, right?
Yes.
Where I kind of held the same opinion as you and like most people, right? Where I would like give, but it's like, like depends on kind of like how they look, right? Or kind of how they're acting, or is it the same person over and over again, like whatever kind of thing, right? So that was me. And then what actually like really kind of changed me was two things. So the first was I've worked downtown for like a lot of my life, my short young life, right? And different kind of quarters of downtown, right? So I was working off of Spadina for a while, right? But that was for a while. That was like 4 or 5 years, right? And when I was working there was the same guy that was there for like literally years, and I've still seen him like to this day. And I'm sure if I say this, people will know who this guy is. Like, he's this like skinny black guy that stands underneath like the Spadina and Gardner kind of like underpass, and he holds like a McDonald's sign, and he just like has so much energy, like he's just like walking on the streets, and he's just like, I don't even want to yell into the microphone, but like literally in the summertime he's like, God bless everybody, I love you guys, please bless me today, whatever. He just has all this bright energy, right? So when I used to take that way of driving home, I would see him every day, right? And one day I was just like, this guy's just so funny, right? So like I gave him like $5 or something, and he's like, oh, God bless you, whatever. And then the next time I saw him again, I'm like, you know, like I'm gonna give it to him again, right? Mm-hmm. And I just asked him his name. I said, yo, what's your name? Oh, my name's Michael. Like, what's your name? You look like a Sophia, right? And he was just like,
you do look like a Sophia, by the
way. This guy would like just joke around with me and like basically like make friends with me. So I would give to him here and there, but it was more so every time I would drive, I would just say hello to him, right? He'd say, how you're doing today, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then it came to like Christmas time where I was like, is there anything like I can get you for Christmas? And he's like, yo, I really need like new long johns and like new undershirts. I was like, cool. So I went to Walmart and I bought him like socks, long johns, undershirt. I got him like a gift card and stuff like that, right? I wrapped it up all nicely in like a little gift bag. And then I drove by him and I gave it to him. He goes, oh my gosh, thank you. He was so happy, right? And then I saw him like a couple weeks later, and he was like, thank you so much, Carissa. Like, this was the only Christmas present I got, and I wore my new undershirts to court, and I felt like the man. And I was like, okay.
To court, nice.
Right? And I was like, all right. So, you know, it was just like a friendly interaction. And what was so funny was like, I never saw him leave that corner. And when there was days where I couldn't catch his attention, whatever, he was busy, it looked like he was like, you know, in some type of business, right? And then even like years later, I would come and he's still at that corner, right? But what prompted me was like just knowing that I knew his name, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't even know much of his story. Like, only thing I got from his story is that he went to court. So I'm like, okay, I guess, you know, he came from jail or he has a record or whatever, right? I didn't even ask him. But just knowing like here this human is, and like here's his like heart.
Mm-hmm. You acknowledged him.
Yeah, but that to me, like, I looked past the other things, right?
Yes.
I looked past, like, okay, maybe he's scamming, maybe he's out here. I don't know what he went to court for. It could be something really horrible, right? But I don't know. And I just looked at him as, like, here's this person in front of me who's a human being. So, like, who am I to deny this human being of love? Whether that just be, like, a hello or actually, like, helping and giving sometimes. So that really kind of just helped me to see other people that are on the street as, like, actual human beings, even though, like, they might be rude to you and you know that they're doing some shady business or, like, whatever it is, that they weren't always like that in life, and somehow they ended up in this position, right? So that kind of changed stuff for me. And then the one scripture that, like, literally never leaves my head now, where it's like, Jesus was, like, talking to his disciples, and he said, when I was thirsty, you denied me water, and when I was hungry, you denied me food. And they were like, Lord, what are you talking about? That's never happened. We always give it to you. He says, anytime you deny my brother or sister of food or water, you're denying me. And I was like, oh, that's stressful. Yeah. Right. Whoa. I get stressed seeing that. Yeah. Because now when I see a homeless person, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have any money. God, please forgive me. And it's happened to me sometimes. I feel like God is particularly challenging me with this, because anytime I have, like, cash in my wallet, well, why does, like, a homeless person come up to my car or come up to me? But when I don't have cash, nobody's coming up to me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and these situations keep happening to me, where this has happened, like, 3 times in a row. I was, like, kind of, like, fighting because I only had, like, a 20 in my wallet or, like, a 10 or something, right? And I'm kind of, like, fighting, like, okay, but, like, I gave, like, yesterday and, like, you know, whatever. Like, it's fine if I don't give to, like, this one person or whatever, but then I hear this scripture at the back of my head, like, this is Jesus, like, literally walking towards you. And then I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, okay, God, fine. You can just have all my money. I don't care. As I unzip my wallet, the person will turn around or the light will turn green. And I'm like, okay, God, like, you were kind of testing me, you know? So I feel like a lot of times when we're put in the position to give, we're almost being, like, tested in a way. That's just a thought. I don't even know if that's biblical, but it's just a thought.
No, well, I will co-sign for you on that. Because that happens to me frequently. Yeah. And it's always me struggling with, because, like I said, I've recently tried to change my way of thinking around giving to the homeless, appear to be homeless. Yeah. To the point where I'll see them from a distance. So before, you know, when I stopped giving, I would do what, like, everybody else does, is, you know, don't make eye contact and go in the other lane so your car's not so close to them. You know, like, I did that. Yeah. Now when I see them from a distance, that's when I start to talk to God immediately. Yeah. Am I supposed to give them money? Let me know. If you want me to give them money, I'll give them money. If you don't want me to give them money, I won't give them money. And I will literally just feel or not feel the urge to do it. And whatever feeling I get, I remove what they look like. I remove the circumstances. And I will just go with whatever feeling I have at that time. Yeah. More times than not, when I decide to give it to them, something happens where I just can't.
Like the light turns green,
they walk away. Exactly. Yeah. So when you're describing that to me right now, I'm like, okay, what you've done actually is you've helped me look at things a little differently as well. You in your journey is helping me in my journey on the exact same topic.
Friendship.
Yeah.
Because you're being tested too. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, well, you know, am I being tested, or am I just opened up to it a little bit more and figuring it out? Yeah. You know, I don't know. But it is an interesting topic, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there. Listen, there's 2 out of 2 people here going through the same thing right now. Yeah. And we didn't even know until we started talking about it right now. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And I don't think I've gotten any weirder. So far, I don't think you've gotten any weirder.
So, yeah.
So I have no choice but to believe there's a lot of other people out there that are probably going through the same thing that we're going through right now. So I guess at the end of the day, this is an opportunity to really maybe take a look at how you do things right now and how you view giving to anybody. Take the word homeless out of it.
Yeah.
Given to anybody who needs the money or appears to need the money. Maybe this is an opportunity to look at that a little differently.
It's true.
And I think it starts with having that conversation with God to find out what it is that he wants you to do and sincerely being open to what it is that he wants you to do. You know, if you only had a $20 bill, be prepared to give up that $20 bill if that's what he's putting into your heart. Right.
This is my problem now. Okay. Because now anytime I have like cash on me, something happens where someone pops up and needs it. And I'm just like, all right. So literally 1 week, I'm like, Lord, I'm not carrying cash on me anymore because I had like $100 cash in my wallet and it all disappeared in like a week. Right? And I'm just like, I'm not carrying cash. I actually did it to see what would happen. Yeah. Right. Okay. So then tell me what happens. I'm walking up Queen Street and there's a Shoppers. And there's kind of a lot of like homeless people in that area, right? And there was this one like kind of like elderly lady who like literally was like holding out her hand, like sitting on a bench asking for money, right? And she like, I'm like, well, I don't have cash on me, right? And I'm walking past her, right? And she's like,
don't even tell me she brought out a debit machine.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm right out of Shoppers, right? And she's like trying to like get my attention, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to be rude, right? And I'm like, well, like, I'm sorry, like, I don't have anything on me. And she's like, oh, it's okay. Like, thank you so much anyways, whatever. Like, she was being really kind. And then I'm about to go into Shoppers to buy like I forget, it was something small with my debit. And then I just kind of felt it in me. I was like, oh man. I was like, do you need anything from Shoppers? And she was just like, oh, I would love some Pepsi. And I'm like, Lord, that was so simple, right? Yeah. You know, she didn't ask for anything crazy with Pepsi, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. So I go and I buy her Pepsi. And she was like so happy. She was like, thank you so much, right? And then I was like, I just started laughing because I'm like, here I was. I'm like, I didn't carry any cash on me. And God was
Still
just like, no problem, bro. No problem.
Still
we'll figure out a way, right?
Oh, I love that.
So I'm just like, it's just new to me too, because you can constantly be challenged when it comes to giving. Because even when you thought like you're a generous person, it could keep coming and coming and coming, right? So I feel like it'll be a constant challenge, like for most people, or a constant like almost like level up, like if that makes sense. But yeah, I think another big thing I learned, especially from homeless people, I mean, I feel like if you're not in like a big city, you don't just come across them as much, right? Because I've just worked downtown for a while, so I'm always coming across them. But I feel like we've talked about this on our podcast before, but God can guide you and lead you to certain places at certain times, right? We believe that. So there's this one morning at our previous workplace where I was like, I parked near Sugar Beach, right? And I was kind of, oh, well, something's wrong with the camera now. I was kind of early. And I felt like in me, like, instead of just going into work like 10 minutes early, like, why don't you just stop by the beach, right? I know it was God because like it almost wasn't my idea. Like I just felt it in me. Like I should just go to the beach, right? Yeah. So I go, and I didn't realize that a lot of people sleep there, right? A lot of homeless people.
On Sugar Beach?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, or like behind there where all the benches are and stuff, right? Yeah. So a lot of people sleep there. So I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that this was what's up. So I kind of just go by the beach, and then this one guy is kind of like waking up and he's chilling, and he like comes to talk to me, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know, I feel I'm a girl by myself, right? And this is one guy. So I kind of felt it out. I'm like, okay, like I feel safe here, right? And he just starts he just seemed like he wanted someone to talk to. He starts rambling about his life and whatever and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm listening and I'm talking to him, and he just starts telling me his whole story basically about how he had I think it was a back injury. And like from there, like that's how he pretty much like got like addicted to drugs, because his back injury was so bad. He got addicted to prescription pills, right? So I was like, wow, okay. So he started talking about how he still has pain in his leg and pain here and whatever and stuff like that. And we have this like great conversation, and I'm like, hey, like, you know, I got to go to work. And he's like, I'll walk you. I'm like, great. So I start walking. He starts walking with me, and I'm like, I was so scared to say this. But I'm like, no, you know what, I'm going to say it. I was like, hey, like, have you ever had anyone pray for your leg? And he was like, darling, if I didn't have prayer, if I didn't have Jesus, I wouldn't be here right now. And I was like, woo, let's go. I was like, okay, God, this is the type of morning I'm having, right? I'm like, all right. So I just started talking to him and asking him like his testimony, right? About how literally God healed his back. How he was, I would love to find him again someday because I went looking for him and I couldn't find him, right? But he basically had this really bad back injury. And he was at a point where he literally was asking just God like to make him die because he was like in so much pain. And he woke up in the middle of the night one night and he was doing everything, like everything possible you could have done. The physio, the blah, blah, blah. He woke up in the middle of the night one night and one of those like commercials were on TV about some doctor that wants you to do this stretch and whatever and stuff like that. So he just like woke up and he was just like, well, why don't I just try the stretch that they're trying on TV or whatever? And he tried it and something popped in his back. And then his back was like healed.
Amen.
And that was the night that he prayed, Lord, just kill me. Like if you want me to die, just kill me. So he's telling me this and I'm like in a tizzy. This is like 8 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, right? I'm like so just like blessed like by this conversation, right? And I'm trying to like get to work, but he just wants to keep talking, right? But he's basically like telling me about how like he's like, you know what? Like, you were like an angel that was like sent to me today. Like, this conversation has been like so amazing. Like, you're literally an angel that was sent to me. And I'm like, literally there staring at him. I'm like, you're the angel that was sent to me. Yeah, like, yes. You're not getting this.
That's the beauty.
And that was the experience that opened my eyes. That it's like, when you have the opportunity to give, I didn't give him any money. I didn't give anything. I just talked to him that day.
You gave him your time.
Yeah, literally. He was talking a lot, right? But I didn't mind. Like, your blessing is like literally right in front of you. And like, I was just so blessed like by that conversation. I was like so encouraged. And I was like, wow, I've never thought once in my life when I see someone in this position that like, hey, they have something to give me. Because we so often like put ourselves in this position because I mean, that's like what it creates, right? When someone is begging, you're up here and they're down here, right? Mm-hmm. You don't even see yourselves as equals. Like they also have something to offer you. Mm-hmm. And when that just like hit me, I was like, wow, like, and just hearing his story, I'm like, people aren't just born on the street. They aren't just born homeless. I mean, some are, and that's very unfortunate, but like, you know what I mean? They have like a whole story and they have something to offer you too, and you just don't know it.
Well, it's funny. This is how you and I got on this conversation because speaking of wanting their story, that's something that you don't agree that I do now. So when I am looking at somebody who is looking for money, if I feel the Holy Spirit telling me to give them money, I always ask them, what's your story? Now, thinking about it now, when I said it to you in the kitchen, I think I made it sound like it was more like in a drill sergeant kind of way. Like, you know, why do you deserve the money? Yeah. Maybe that's the way I made it sound. And I didn't think about it until right now. Okay.
That's what I thought. Because I thought it was kind of like, if you don't give me a good story, this $20 isn't yours.
Gotcha.
Like, that's how you kind of made it
Gotcha. Sound. And no, that's not the case.
Okay.
If I feel the need or the want to give them money, I genuinely want to know what their story is. The short version, because I'm usually at a light or something. Yeah. But just give me, because I'm trying to learn it. I'm trying to understand it.
Okay. I thought you meant the total.
Yeah. And upstairs, it didn't dawn on me that way.
Yeah.
But now that we're talking about it, obviously, because I've acknowledged that, I can see how you're looking at it. But it's genuinely, I'm trying to learn and understand homelessness. I'm trying to learn and understand how somebody gets to that position so that I can learn how to be more empathetic towards it. I think my journey of that is not just about being okay with giving money, but I think it has to do with wanting to understand that lifestyle and how you become that, because maybe there's something in the future around that. Mm-hmm. I have a friend of mine who I speak to, not recently, but over the last few years, who I've been talking to and saying to her that I just feel like I have a calling to some sort of a cause. And there's two things that keep coming up over and over and over again. And both of them I know nothing about. And one of them is homelessness.
Yeah.
The other one is women's shelters for abused women. I don't know why these two things keep coming up, but they keep coming up. So I'm starting to feel like this journey that I'm on with asking what the story is has to do with learning.
Yeah.
Part of it, to set something up for later on.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm actually glad that I got to clear that up instead of leaving it the way that we left it upstairs.
I'm glad too, because this is totally different than what I thought you meant.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do that, where it's just like, oh, okay, well, if you don't have like a good story.
Yeah, no. It's not like I'm going to give you mine. I'm going to hold it here, and then if I don't like your story, I'm pulling it back. No, not like that.
I didn't think that, but I thought you would maybe just keep it in your pocket. And then,
oh, right, okay.
You know what I mean? Not be like a total.
Like that commercial with the guy with the fishing rod.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it, with the fishing rod and the dollar bill hanging from it, and the girl is jumping up to grab the dollar bill? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I mean, sounds like something I've seen.
Yeah, well, you're a millennial, so you probably only watch stuff online. So.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay. Anyways, old man. Okay. I find that interesting because people's stories are so interesting to me, because most of the time it's not some type of like romantic story where it's like, you know, I had a really good job and then like I lost my home and you know, now I'm here and whatever, right? A lot of times like there's a lot of messiness involved, right? Like even this guy that I just talked about that had the back injury and stuff, right? He talked to me about how he had 4 kids and how he has like an ex-wife and stuff, right? And how his kids are like all adults. And I'm like, okay, well, something here has to be wrong if 4 of your adult children and like your ex-wife, like nobody wants to take you in and you're on the street, right? So I'm like, you've had to have done something wrong to them maybe, or they're tired of your ways or whatever it is, right? It's like there's a lot of darkness to these stories, right?
Oh, it has to be.
Yeah. So that's what I find particularly interesting is like that God always in the Bible, like Jesus always tells us like we have to be forgiving, right? And we have to forgive people. So I always try to keep in my head whenever I maybe might kind of be in the position of judging or maybe looking down on someone, whatever, is just like, okay, if God forgives me over and over and over again when I do my mess, like if they turn to God, God will forgive them in a second, a nanosecond, right? And it's like there's nothing too big that God is just not going to forgive if you turn to him, right? So I'm just like, man, it's just like hard when you see people and it's just like everyone deserves God's love, but not everyone understands it, right? So absolutely. I don't know, it's just a strange thing to try to navigate.
Yeah, I don't think you need to navigate it. I think you just have to be open to understanding it. And how that comes will be different to everybody in every different way. I think
navigate is the wrong word. I think it's just something I think about a lot. And it's just kind of on my mind a lot. Because I think such a great way that we can display God's love rather than saying, hey man, Jesus loves you, is actually by giving, right? And I'm not saying it's like that in every situation where it's like, okay, you have to give $20 to this person you know is going to use it on drugs. I'm just talking in general. Actions speak louder than words, right? So you can say to someone till they're blue in the face, say Jesus is real and like he loves you. They're not going to believe you. But some people will, but you get my point. Is when they see the actions, it's like way more powerful.
Well, like you told me a story which kind of is going to help me with something as well. You told me the story about the woman on the off ramp coming off the highway coming here, who I see there all the time. Yeah. And I've been drawn to her, but I have not acted on it. Yeah. There was just something about her, but I hadn't acted on it. And maybe I convinced myself not to because I looked at her and I was like, you're young enough where you could be working right now. Yeah, and
I see you here every day.
Right? Yeah. So maybe, but I've always still had like an interest, and a couple times I've went to just kind of do a little something for her, and the light changed. So I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to give to her. But you told me a story about how she reacted today, and that kind of made me look at things a little differently. And I don't know, is that God talking to me to be like, Jay, that's the woman who you keep looking at, and you've made a decision on who she is or what she should be doing or what she should not be doing. and this is this, maybe the scenario, what I thought it was is actually not that scenario. And what you told me today kind of painted a totally different picture than what I put in my own head.
Well, maybe that's the whole reason why God made me give today, because to tell it to you. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
yeah,
I'm saying there's many different reasons. But I might as well say it now that you mentioned it. But I was reading these devotionals this morning, and 3 times in a row it talked about giving. So I'm like, okay, God's gonna make me give to someone today. This is obvious. As I was coming off the highway on the way here, there was a woman waiting at the light, and I'm like, okay, so I had $5 in my wallet, so I gave it to her. And she took the $5 and she looked at the sky like she was going to cry. And she said, "Thank you, God." And she walked away. And I was almost fainted in my car. And I didn't say this upstairs. For a second after she walked away, I didn't see her. And I kept looking. I'm like, yo, where'd she go? I got so scared. I'm like, yo, was that a real angel? I was like, oh my God. She was in my blind spot. So I couldn't see her. But I tripped out for a second. I was like, yo. But I was like, I've never had someone react like that before. She barely acknowledged me. She just literally looked in tears, thank you, God. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Which I would take that reaction of not acknowledging the person giving it to them and just giving the glory to God. I would take that action 101 times out of 100.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So that made me, right now, I see her very differently right off the hop.
Yeah.
And, and for the record, I want to rally back on something.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try and remember this thought that I have right now.
Good luck with that.
Look, I already don't like when people give and tell. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Okay? When you do that, in my opinion, wrong or right, but my opinion is you're doing it for the wrong reasons if you do that. Okay?
Yeah.
For the purpose of this conversation, what we are talking about today is not to give and tell. That is not the purpose of it.
Yeah.
We are just talking about our experiences because we're hoping that it helps somebody who will be listening just to look at things a little differently.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of why we're talking about what we're talking about.
Yep.
And the only way that we can talk about it is to talk about what we're doing, because this is what our podcast is. Our podcast is so that people see how we live for God.
Yeah.
So this is a part of that. Mm-hmm. I need to get that off my chest so that people understand.
No problem.
Because it was actually on my mind. I'm like,
okay.
I like talking about it, but I don't like talking about it because I don't want to talk about what I give and what I don't get. You know what I mean? But anyway, that being said, and I knew I was going to forget my thought. I knew I was. Yeah.
Maybe it'll come back to you in a few minutes.
Whatever.
No, I'm glad you said that, because I remember the couple episodes we did on giving, we talked about that too, because that is important. You're actually not supposed to do that. That defeats the whole purpose of giving. What does
Jesus say?
He says,
do what your right hand does, your left hand doesn't see it, or something like that?
Yeah, it says when you give, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Right? So it's the whole point in that, him saying that, is you're not giving for the sake of talking about you giving. This conversation would be very different, and if I was like, oh my God, dude, guess what? I gave $5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at me. It's that's not what this is about. So I'm glad you said that, because I'm sure one person is thinking that.
Yeah, I would if I was on the other line, on the other side of this. I think it all the time. I see all the time on social media someone saying, "Oh, I gave this and I gave that," and I'm like, so
nobody
what?
had time. Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
I saw on LinkedIn, which is a professional social media outlet, this dude who I guess found this black guy who was looking for a job and didn't have any money or whatever, and took him to the store, which was great, and bought him a couple suits so that he can go for job interviews, and then paraded this guy on social media, taking pictures and posing with him with his new suits to say that he did this act. I literally wanted to grab this guy by the throat when I saw that.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons that I won't get into, but
do you know the person personally?
No, I don't know the person, but anyway, we'll talk about that offline.
Okay.
But that bothered me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. Oh, you're this, you're that." And I was enraged when I saw it.
Yeah.
Enraged. And I didn't understand why. Well, I knew why. I knew why. I understood why I was enraged. But the point is that, do it because you want to do it. And if you stay close to God and ask God, He will let you know when to, what to, how to.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know. Yeah. I literally ask God, should I be doing this?
Yeah.
I'll wake up one day and like you said, I loved it when you said it. You woke up and then you were reading something and you just felt like you were supposed to give that day.
Yeah.
I have moments like that as well. Mm-hmm. And then I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I wait, and then when the moment's happening, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I thought I was supposed to give. It's not like I go out looking for it now. Who needs money? Who needs money? Who needs Pepsi? So anyway, I don't know what anybody thinks about what we're talking about, and maybe you found it a little bit dry, but if you can get past that and get to the part about understanding that there's people out there that need our help, need your help, and that our sole purpose as human beings here is to help one another. If you can get to that part, maybe you will look at giving a little bit more differently. Maybe you'll look at, that person that is asking for money on the sidewalk or under the underpass or or wherever it is. Maybe you'll look at it a little differently. Have a little quick conversation with God and see if He puts it in your heart to give them money instead of just making the decision on your own not to do it.
Yeah, that's good. Just to close it off, there's this one thing I saw. Michael Todd, I know everyone has their own different thoughts and opinions on him and stuff, but he said something that was so awesome once, where he said, like, God is God, okay? Like, God created the universe. Like, God could come down and strike you with lightning right now. Like, He doesn't need you to give to someone. Like, if He wanted someone to be blessed with something, He could drop it from the sky if He wants. Like, you know what I mean? Like, He doesn't need our participation. Like, He doesn't need us in that way. Like, oh, I can't help this person unless you do this. No, like, God can do it on His own. So why has He placed us in the opportunity to give, in the position where He wants to use us instead of just dropping it from the sky, right? And I believe because God gives, it's literally an opportunity for us to be like God, for us to be like Christ. It's that He's giving us opportunity every day to be like, I'm telling you to be like Christ. Mm-hmm. Here's your opportunity. I find that really, that to me just touches my heart. So I just had to share that.
Yeah, no, yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Anyways. We've been talking for 40 minutes, I think.
All right.
Cool.
That's all I got.
Yeah. It was great. I didn't think it was dry.
I don't think so either, but some people might. Okay. So I want to make sure that...
Well, they're probably not here anyways.
Well, then again, they're probably left already anyway. That is true. Yeah. That's true.
Well, we appreciate everyone who listens. Please leave a comment telling us like what your opinions are, what your thoughts are. We'd like to hear and discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love talking to people. I do get messages from people who have listened, and then we have great conversations from that going forward.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing that I love more than follow-up discussions by them reaching out to say how much of a change it's made in their life.
Awesome.
Like, I send you messages every now and then, just kind of like jumping around and so excited on the message that I got.
Yeah.
I don't even send you all of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Praise God.
Yeah, all day.
Love that guy.
All day. He's a serious man.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Deuces.
Peace. Guys, thank you for listening to another episode of Real Talk with Carissa and Jason. Listen, if you know someone that can benefit from this episode, we are asking you to please send it over to them. We would love for them to hear it. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Carissa and Jason, and over on YouTube at Real Talk with Carissa and Jason.